Hello everyone and welcome to the F1 Corner on this beautiful November day in Montreal. It was announced last Thursday that there would be a new race to the F1 calendar in 2021, a Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in the town of Jeddah. The news was actually not so well received by many Formula One fans, where usually we're pretty thrilled to have a new race added to the calendar. But this time, with all the We Races as One movement, this did not bode as well for everyone who's actually following Formula One. And there are actually reasons for that. So I thought that we could go over all the aspects of the future Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, the pros and cons, and see why people are not, super hot about having this new race in the desert in Saudi Arabia. But before we start, as usual, remember to hit the like button and to subscribe to the channel. So, the new race in Saudi Arabia, in the town of Jeddah. This is gonna be a race, a street race, and probably run at night, from what we've heard so far. Beautiful town on the coast of Saudi Arabia. You can see the ocean, and everything is super cool. And this is a country that does have its own history with Formula One. They're not going there out of the blue and some random weird countries. Saudi Arabia has been sponsoring Formula One for many years. Since 1978, we've been seeing sponsorship on Formula One car, even on the 1980 world champion Williams. So, they've been implicated in Formula One for a while now already. So, they are into it. And same for motorsport in general. There is a Formula E race in Saudi Arabia. There's the Dakar Rally that is also pretty famous. So, it is a country with history in motorsport, and even the Saudi Aramco company, who is a world leader in sustainable fuels. So they have reasons to be there and to want to be there. They've been part of the F1 family for quite a while right now. But this is pretty much all the pros that they are about the race in Saudi Arabia when you look at the beautiful view that we'll have and their implication historically in F1. Because if you haven't noticed already, this year we have the whole We Race as One movement, and fighting for equal rights for everyone, to be equal, no racism, and human rights and everything. And it is a fact that Saudi Arabia is not a country where a lot of human rights are applied correctly, we'll say it like that. As an example, until 2018, it was illegal for a woman to drive a car in Saudi Arabia. It is legal now, but still, as of this day, women who were caught driving prior to 2018 are still imprisoned and tortured instead of being let out. Another fact is that in this country, feminism, atheism, and homosexuality are all crimes passible of jail sentences, exile, or some of these people are simply silenced. You will say that you're homosexual or something, and we'll never hear from you again. And this is what is going on in that country. It is also one of two countries in the world where Muslim religion is very dominant, to the point where women are forced to wear a burqa. So this, this whole mask thing, you're covered from head to toes in those black clothes. Women are forced to wear that in Saudi Arabia. And as for tourists, if you are a woman tourist, you must wear long sleeves and jeans. We cannot see your arms or your legs. Which does bring the questions, why are we going there if we are fighting for human rights when this country does not even seem to believe in human rights? In interviews accorded to the BBC and other media, the governing instances in Saudi Arabia said that the country was in a phase of change, that they were trying to change slowly, and that Formula One will bring forward those changes. But overall, it might only be something, put a lot of luxury and glory and money in F1 just to hide all those atrocities going there in this country. And I think I just mentioned the point why, the reason why we are going there: money. It's not a secret that a lot of Middle Orient countries are super rich with oil, petroleum, and everything that is coming out of there. And during a year, a special 2020 season where money is pretty much a concern for many people, including Formula One management. Well, if the country is ready to pay a huge sum to get a race on the calendar, they will probably get it, just because FOM is a bit desperate to find some money this year. And as my personal opinion here, but before we get to that, I want to mention that with a race in Saudi Arabia, we might have 23 races to the calendar next year, which would mean that we'd have some triple header to run, which the teams already made clear that they don't want when we had one back in 2018. So it's going to be interesting to see how they fit all that, if there are 23 races, because at this point, as I'm talking, there is still no guarantee of what will happen in 2021 with the situation in the world. So yeah, my personal opinion about a possible Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Well, if you want to know it, hit the like button and subscribe. But yeah, personally, I don't like the idea of going there, not just for the human rights arguments. I do believe it is a valid argument if we are serious, if Formula One is serious about going forward with all those talks. But I have other, more personal reason. First one being that 23 races, and even 22 that we were supposed to have this season, is starting to feel a bit too much for my taste. I remember the time where Formula One was a special event. Only if you had a Grand Prix, you were special. And more, it seems like you don't have to be special to have a Grand Prix. You just need to have money. Second reason, well, not really against a race in Saudi Arabia, but more about the possible setup. They said that it would be a night race. So here I have a problem with that for just one reason. They are on the coast with the sea or the ocean, whatever, right next to the city, and the race will run by there. Why do a race at night where you will not be able to have such a beautiful sight to see, the clear water and the paradisiac view? I think this is a bad move to do this at night. Yes, it would probably be better for TV around the world, but I think that's a bad idea. But this is only my opinion here. And a final thing why I don't really want a race in Saudi Arabia. Personally, I think we already have enough race in that part of the world, in the Middle Orient. We have Bahrain and we have Abu Dhabi already. I'm not saying it's not good to have more race there, but I think that Formula One is moving away from its roots of being not a European sport, but like I said before, a special sport where, you know, they go to countries that actually like Formula One. Saudi Arabia would be good if there was one less race in those countries, because, you know, have you ever heard of Bahrain native Formula One driver or anyone coming from those countries? Because I haven't. I'm not saying that there's no one that wants to, but I haven't. And I think 2 races in that part of the world is already good enough. And you know, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, let's face it, it is a boring race. Yes, it is beautiful, it is glorious and all of that, but it is the last race of the season. Usually all bets are done by that point. We know who are the winners, and it's usually a boring race in the street of the city. Ooh, there's echo here. Nice. And yeah, that's pretty much why I think we should avoid a race in Saudi Arabia, and also why the fans don't like the idea of going to that country. Bring back more European races, some classic tracks. We've had fun at Imola last week, even though it was a fairly boring race overall. You know, it was nice to go back there. Portimao, Portugal was cool. Why not go to try to go to Africa? Actually, this is a world championship, and we have no races in Africa. So maybe try to go back to South Africa. South America, we have Brazil, but we used to have Argentina also in the past at Buenos Aires. And you know, all these reasons makes me think that we don't need an extra race to the calendar. I think we need less, and just really pick carefully which race we want and go to at least one race per continent. But you know, come back to the roots of Formula One. Opening the sports, I'm all for it. I'm good with 20 races. I think that's still a fair number, but more than that, starting to feel a bit too much, especially when you look at all the countries that we are going, and that you know, people are not fans of Formula One or racing sports, and just all those other countries where human rights are baffled, to mention Russia and China, where, you know, it's not to bash on those countries. I have nothing against these countries in particular, it's just facts. So what do you think, everyone? Leave me a comment, tell me your opinion. Should we go race in Saudi Arabia? Should we go to more countries, less countries? Which race do you want out or back to the Formula One calendar? Let me know in the comment. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. And remember, next week is the Turkish Grand Prix. Thank you, everyone, and have a good day.